Welcome to another Saturday morning Samoflange. Happy New Year! It is, as of this recording when it drops, 2022. I'm still living in the past. All right, so Happy New Year, everyone. First day of the year. Again, I am solo. There was just no way Benjamin and I were going to ever find time to meet up. He will surely, I'm sure, be back next week. Or maybe I'll have some guest stars. Who knows? I don't know. I think I have some friends who are in. May see if one of them want to do a podcast real quick while they're here. But either way, welcome to the new year. Welcome to the year 2022. I hope it's going to be a good one for you. It was funny because, again, a few weeks later, after we had discovered we were going to be doing a Christmas Day episode, maybe like 2 weeks later, I had found out, it just hit me again, because then I started looking at January. I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think about this? We're also going to be January 1st. And we were laughing about it. And so our podcast was originally going to be something about, top 5 words of advice or expectations for 2022. Not in any order, maybe. Or 5 expectations. And I had it written down. I've kind of scratched it off because I don't want to do it. Maybe save it for next year if he and I can get together and do it. But since it's just me solo, why not talk about New Year's Day? Let me back up, though. Let me back up to yesterday. This is odd, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who's like this, but when you're watching the ball drop or when it's coming close, do you get sad? Are you like, oh no, this year's almost over? Oh no. Oh man, it's like another year is gone. I think like that. I can't help it, I do. Not that I have regrets. And then when the new year hits, you're like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like New Year's Day, you wake up at 2022, and you're like, you don't know what to do. You feel like the year has made a difference in the whole world. You're seeing the world differently now. It's aged another year or whatnot. I don't know. Maybe it's just me who sees New Year's Day like that. And hey, by the way, good morning. You're probably not listening to this at 6 in the morning if you're from America, because you had a New Year's Eve party. Do you still do New Year's Eve parties? Because I think, I'm almost positive, even though I should have checked past episodes, but I know I've talked about New Year's with my wife. We talked about probably our top 5 New Year's parties that we've attended. Of course, we made our own, and I used to throw my own back in the day. I threw one that was so big, I couldn't fit everyone in my apartment. People were out spilling out into the parking lot, and the landlady came up the next day and thanked me for letting her sons come to my party. I was like, I didn't know who they were. I didn't know half the people who were in my house. I think some bums walked in for a while. I don't know. Seriously, I did not know half the people that came to one of my parties one time, because I used to throw mad, crazy parties. Parties that no one went home until the sun went up. Yes, I don't know how I didn't get evicted. I bet my neighbors were with me celebrating at New Year's. I didn't know. I know I've told this story before with Megan a few years ago, but I'll just kind of rehash the short and skinny of it. I don't drink. I don't think it's wrong. I just don't like the taste of alcohol. It's yuck. It tastes awful. So I don't like it. Again, a lot of people in my family drink. My wife drinks. I have no problem with it. Personally, if someone wants to drink, that's fine. But no, I just don't like it, so I don't drink. There was so much liquor and beer left over after that party that I did not buy. People brought their own liquor and beer, and people left it at my house. So I had to throw 2 more parties, I remember, that next week just to get rid of the liquor and beer. Like, they're like, oh, wow, you still got my liquor in here. Yes, because I'm not going to drink it. Or, oh, wow, my beer's still in the fridge. Yeah, I'm not going to drink it. Please get rid of it. I need to put some Coke in there. Coca-Cola. Yeah, I won't do beer, but I'll do Coke. Ha, ha, ha. Know what I mean? No, it's Coca-Cola. I do sodas. But anyway, I was like, oh, man, I remember there was a wall of beer. I mean, seriously, up to the ceiling. It covered half the kitchen. I was like, oh, because people kept bringing case after case after case, and I was stacking it in a corner, and it was not the whole back wall, but it was a good quarter of the back wall was stacked almost to the ceiling, because I was trying to put it all in one corner and it just kept stacking up. And so I had to throw like 2 big parties. We had something else going on. I think there was like a conference around here going on. So I had some friends staying for New Year's, after New Year's. And I brought them over back-to-back nights until they drank everything. I was like, get rid of it all. But I remember that was the last time I said I'll never have another New Year's party again. I spent all day, New Year's Day, cleaning up the house. I am a stickler. Got to clean up the house. I clean up the house here. I have a big house now, so it takes me double the amount of time to clean it. I've been taking aside. I'm not kidding. I take 30 minutes a day, every night, and I clean portions of the house. That's what I do every night, except on weekends. So Monday through Friday for 30 minutes, I am cleaning something, somewhere, somehow. Usually it's the kitchen floor. That's always dirty for some reason. It always has dirt and leaves and trash and smudges everywhere, like people are just spilling drinks everywhere or something. So I'm constantly sweeping, constantly mopping. That is what I'm doing 3 out of the 5 days. And then those other days, I'm cleaning bathrooms one night, vacuuming, doing dusting and other various cleanup things, emptying waste paper baskets and stuff. I have it down to a science, not to a complete science yet, but getting there. Anyway, so I cleaned up that whole entire apartment. It took me all day. I was pissed. Now, true, I went to bed at about 6 that morning, woke up at noon that afternoon and worked all the way till 8 o'clock at night. Oh, I was pissed. I was like, it is such a mess in here. So spent all day cleaning it up, or the rest of the day, I should say, when I woke up. And then my wife convinced me to do a few more parties. They were fun. I don't regret them. Would we ever throw another one? No. Not in a million. Well, maybe. As of this recording, I don't know. I doubt we would throw one ever again. But if the missus wanted to do a little one with friends, I might not be opposed to that because it probably wouldn't go late. But I remember the last one we did. I wonder if my wife remembers. I know she does because we probably did this podcast together. But the last one we did stay up all night. It was like 5:30. I was pissed. At 12 o'clock, I was ready for people to go home. And I was like, oh, they're not going home. And like at 2 o'clock, I was like, surely they're going home now. And they're like, okay, let's hit some music. Yeah, let's dance. I was like, oh, F, we're going to be here all night long. And I think at 4 o'clock, people started, because they wanted to watch a movie is what it was. And so we started watching a movie. I was like, good. And then, 4:30, 5, people are nodding off. People are sleeping on couches, on the floors, because we'd gotten people pillows and blankets. And I told my wife, I said, let's just go to our bed. I don't want to fall, because I was so tired. And she wanted to finish the movie. So it was an hour and a half or whatever. So about 5:30, we finally went to bed. And I was just dying getting to the bed. And my wife she had the biggest smile on her face. She went, that was great. She loved every minute of it, man. She could stay up all night. That night and Black Friday, she'd go all night long, man. She could not sleep. She gets so excited over that. But I think that was the last New Year's party we threw. Of course, I don't go to any. I wouldn't know where to go if there was one being thrown, because now it's Facebook. It's not invites over the phone or through text messages. Now people do it through Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so I don't know who's throwing what party. They'll invite my wife. My wife will forget or just not tell me, so I won't berate her or nag her into going. Either way, though, we just don't do them anymore. Of course, with kids, especially next year when we have the 2 babies, won't ever do it again, maybe. But I don't know if my wife wanted to throw a little soiree, which I don't think she would. Our past few years, and I'm positive it's probably what we're going to do this year, even though I haven't asked yet, we usually go to my parents. There's no one there but us and them, and we sit and watch the ball drop. The girls are usually in bed by then. They're in mom and dad's bed asleep, and we just watch the ball drop and say Happy New Year, stay till about 12:05 and split and go home and go to bed. The worst was the year right before the kids were born. My wife was so tired. I was too. We played some game. I can't remember what it was. And we kept waiting for midnight because we were both dragging. We were so tired. And then we heard the fireworks and went, oh, it's midnight. Happy New Year. She says, Happy New Year. I said, you just want to quit this game, go to bed? She's like, yeah, okay, good. It's like 12:01, went to bed. But just know you're not allowed to go to bed before midnight. Have her slept through a New Year's? I don't think so. I think I've always stayed up till midnight. Do I usually stay up to midnight? I mean, yeah, at times I've stayed up to midnight, stay up to 2 sometimes in my new gaming group. But staying up doing those all-nighters, I don't do it anymore. I used to, and it hasn't happened since the girls have been born. I always used to have one restless night, a night where I couldn't sleep. Never mind, I did that this year. I moved. I was moving boxes all night long one night. I did do that. I was pissed because our closing got delayed. I took off the whole week. Monday was supposed to be our closing. It didn't happen until Friday. It was just a disaster. So I stayed up all night, Friday night, moving boxes left and right. I mean, just all night long. Oh, dude, maybe that was Monday night. The next Monday or so. No. It had to be on one of my days off. I don't think I would have done that and gone to work the next day. But anyway, so yeah, I stayed up all night. So I did stay up all night this year, but being restless and not being able to sleep. And there's always a day, and in fact, since college, I think, there's always one day where for some reason I couldn't go to sleep. I'd read a book, but it wouldn't get me tired, so I'd keep reading. And then, finally, sometimes I'd conk out reading a book, but if I didn't, I'd start my day over again. And the next night, of course, I could easily fall asleep. But yeah, staying up early, not for this guy. I mean, staying up, into the wee hours of the morning, not really for me anymore. Though, again, I have done it. I've done 4 a.m., 3 a.m. time stories this past year. And with my new gaming group, well, they go till 2 in the morning. So I'm not in bed till about 2:30. Yikes. But I'm pretty good for that too. Other than that, it's usually about 12, between 12 and 1, I'm going to bed. I do have to stay up about 10:30 to 11 to make sure my girls who can get out of their beds and run around, that they stay in their beds. And they usually conk out. Piper's the one that we have the problem with. Conks out around 11:30. So for the last time, if not 10:30. So once that's done, then I can safely go to bed, which I have gone to bed at that time too, but a lot of times it ends up being close to midnight or a little bit after. Anyway, so that's New Year's Eve. Let's switch gears. Talk about New Year's Day. What do I feel for 2022? Well, 2022, man. I got rid of, like I said, I tore up the advice a week ago when I realized, or a few weeks ago when I realized we weren't going to do this together. Benjamin and I weren't. And I wish I would have kept it. But I know one of them was, I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to try to let the lame pandemic, where fear-mongering is king, ruin my year. Okay? I try not to let that happen for 2021. I mean, how long will you let these people stay in power? As long as they want. There will always be a virus. There will always be something wrong so they can stay in control. I'm sick and tired of all the depression and everything of this. And it's time to move on. Move on. So ready to get back to normal. Well, Matt, there'll be a new normal. F you. F you. Yeah, not really a fan of the whole pandemic scare. At the same time, though, there's a few things that I'd like for 2022. Of course, I'm getting new twins. I know that was on my list there. Welcoming another set of a boy and a girl, having a boy for the first time. That's exciting. Every dad wants at least one son. I was glad one of them was a boy. I would have been happy with 2 girls too. I would have been real happy with 2 boys. I thought that would have been cool. But having a boy and a girl, yeah, that's cool. I'll take it. Even if the boy doesn't look like me. If it looks like Megan and the girl looks again like me, that's fine. Whatever. But it'll be fun to have a boy. It'll be fun raising 4. Another big challenge. That will be. So that's very exciting for the year 2022. Another thing is the old career at work. I applied. Everyone's been telling me to apply for a higher position, and I am qualified. I know that. I just haven't because I don't want the position. I'm happy where I'm at. But then I see a lot of my friends climbing up the career path, and I'm happy for them, by the way. I'm so happy for them. They all deserve it. They're all excellent. But then I'm thinking, am I playing life on easy? That's the thing that's always worried me. I don't want to just sit around and play life on easy, You do want to, I do want to be challenged. And I am challenged at my job, but I'm thinking, well, should I? Really? Because everyone's been some of my good friends have been kind of pushing me like, you really should because you're basically doing a lot of that work and you deserve it. So maybe I applied for one and got the loser letter because they didn't, because of my location. They can't say that, but because of my location, it's kind of hard for me to get the bump up. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. So maybe I'll try a little bit harder. It was fun brushing off the old resume. I was excited. And if I didn't get it, it didn't hurt my feelings either. But I'm like, well, you know what? If they just automatically reject me based on where I'm at, I guess it doesn't hurt to keep putting these in. So I'm going to keep putting them in. We're going to see what happens. But I'm going to keep putting them in because why the heck not? Now, that was 3, and I'm trying to remember, for the life of me, I'm trying to remember what those other 2 were. But I just don't know. I kind of know. Okay, I think these were them, now that I think about it. Because like as of this recording, I threw it away like a week or so ago, and I do forget my list after a while. Like I'll even have to go back and watch I've even thought about putting the top 5 in the comments of YouTube, but I don't want to do that for spoiler reasons. But I'm like, okay, let me watch this on 2 times speed. Listen to it so I can hear what my number whatever was. But I will re-listen to things. See, what did I have my top 5 as? But the other 2 were something like I wanted to jump back. I am cutting away from board games. It feels like I just don't have the money with 4 kids, big house payments, all these stuff coming in. Board games, I'm going to have to ease up the gas pedal on. Sadly, I just don't have the money. Is the sad truth. All money goes to bills now. And again, it's life, right? It's life. So easing up the board game hobby, but that means, hey, now I have time for something else. I always make time for reading, and I can buy a book here or there. It's not too expensive. But then I thought, well, do I want to get back into drawing comic books? A few of you may or may not know this. I drew comic books, comic strips. I cannot draw worth a darn, like the evolution of a stick man. But I have a sense of humor. I used to give them out to my friends. I used to keep I've kept hundreds of them. And when I made my 1,000th comic book, what was it, 6-7 years ago, I quit. I was like, this is perfect. Perfect time for me to quit on issue 1,000, I started this journey 20 years ago or whatnot, or 25 years ago. I can't remember when it was. But either way, I was like, so this is the perfect time for me to say goodbye. And so I went off on episode 1,000, never looked back. And then ever since, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, I was thinking, man, those were fun. And the more I think about it, the more I'd like to do it. But again, my time is spent, my free time, when I want to spend it, is spent on board games. I love playing board games. But if I shy away from the board games, I don't want to lose my board game group. I'm very thankful for the board game groups I have, the people I have, so I still want to utilize them, but I may let off the gas on how frequently I use them. And maybe focus on writing, writing some comic books or drawing some comic books again. Maybe that. Or maybe writing short stories. Not that I'm an author either, but I got some ideas for some expanded universe fan fiction. I think I'd like to do that, but that takes time. Time away from playing board games or something. It's definitely not going to be time away from the girls, but time away from one of my other hobbies. I rarely, if ever, watch TV or movies now. So, my reading's pretty steady. But other than that, I can fit in some other time. So what do I want to fill that time in? What hobby would it want it to be? Comic books? Do I want to do the writing thing? I don't know. What is? Do I want to spend more time invested in YouTube? I spend a lot of time invested in YouTube right now. I'm trying to take a step back from YouTube. That's why I'm not posting videos a mile a minute. It was fun, but now I need to slow it down. Now I'm way ahead on my videos, so maybe I should start putting a few more out here or there. But I just don't want to get to where I got to do another mountain of videos. I mean, I still have to do a lot of videos, but I don't want to be overwhelming because to me it's a hobby. It's not a career. It's just a hobby. And I'm thankful for everyone who listens. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. But it's just a hobby for me. It's just a hobby for me. It's not going to be a career. I'm not looking at making millions here. I'm not looking at being the next, PewDiePie or Mr. Beast or whatever. No, I just want to be me, and this is fun. This is a fun outlet. And I can't remember what the last one was. I keep struggling and thinking, what was the last one? But maybe one thing off the top of my list now, that when I moved, I found my Santa Bowl trophy. We haven't played the Santa Bowl in a couple of years now. That's because I was traveling with my company, and I was gone for those years during the Santa Bowl, and the people I left in charge are bums. In fact, someone just ran off. I don't even have my flags anymore. I can ask and see if someone has them. My flags, my referee flags, my whistles, they're all gone. And the thing is, I will not be buying that again. So I know who I last gave it to. It's been years now, so they probably lost it or don't have it anymore. But I do need to peg them down and ask them, because if they still have them, yeah, I'd kind of like to resurrect the Santa Bowl. It's not a huge thing on my list, but it was fun. I know my nephews, who are now old enough to play, way more than old enough to play, would really like to have a crack at it now, because the rule was 17 and older. So this would have been my nephew's. This past year would have been my nephew's first time to legitimately play. I think he could play at 16 though. I think he could play at 16. It was optional whether they put you in a lot, but at 17 they had to put you in a lot. The youth did. But the youth would wipe the floor with the adults now. I don't think most of the adults from the original team would even show up, and the ones that would we're just so out of shape now, we wouldn't be a shadow of what we were. So I think the youth would actually run away with it for a few years. It'd be nice. Youth always have the bigger strength, and we always have the brains and patience to wait it out. Like most, not all, but most of the Santa Bowl games start like this. The kids start off with a lead, or it's really close, and then all of a sudden the adults pull away and win it in the second half. Always how it was, except for 2 years when the youth won, which was fun too. But it got competitive there for a while. But it was, the adults just had so many people. We could switch out offense, defense, even had some people on special teams only one year, which was great. And then the year we lost is when everyone got pissed because we have way too many. You're inviting way too many adults. We need to play Iron Man football. We play offense, defense. I want more game time. And when they got more game time, they gassed out in the first quarter, and we got blown away. Oh man, I need a break. Yeah. Make up your mind. You didn't get enough playtime last year. Now this year you need a break. I don't know. Stupid decisions too. Man, I should do a Santa Bowl. Maybe bring my brother in here or something, or talk to someone about good Santa Bowl memories. That'd be fun. I know who I'd get for that too. We had people from other states come. It was a big deal for a while. So maybe resurrecting that wouldn't be a bad idea, because I had a bunch of failed. When the Santa Bowl got successful, I tried several other things. Like I looked into, we did do a putt-putt. It was called Quest for the Check. We only did it 1 year, and it had a good attendance the first year, but I didn't keep it up. Then we did one called, the Turkey Bowl, bowling. It was a bowl with turkey stickers on it. I won both of these prizes. I'm never good at bowling, but somehow I won. I threw the turkey bowl away. It was really cheap. And I threw away the big check for Quest from the Check because I didn't want it. But those were failed missions. And then I tried to get a tennis one going, but I don't play tennis. So I wasn't that invested in it, just because a few people were playing tennis. We looked into it but never got started. And then the one we really wanted was hockey. We wanted to do a hockey. We were going to call it the Dabney Cup after something that was going on at the time. Dabney Center was something that went on in our church, and so some of those people would be interested in slinging a hockey putt, street hockey putt on the board, the skate rink after the Dabney Center got out. I thought, that'd be a good time to have some fun, but it was tough to get. It was going to cost a little bit more than I was willing to pay for to rent out the skate rink for that night. Or that evening or whatever, and we had to provide our own equipment, which was they just provide the skates. It's like, we have hockey sticks, but no one else does, and I'm not buying several hockey sticks, and so, or goalie equipment and stuff. So that was out immediately because of all the money you'd have to spend. But I don't know, maybe that would be one. I cannot remember what my fifth one was. But that would we'll put that one in. So maybe I'll do it. Now those last two, like I said, especially the Santa Bowl, that's up in the air. I don't care if I don't make that one. It would be nice to write comic books or write a short story. I may push that later on, this new year. But then the first two, getting ready for the chilling, waiting for, and then trying to improve the career. Yeah, definitely going to make harder strides on the top two. The mid two. We'll try, but won't. If we don't succeed, that's fine. The last one, flip a coin. So that's kind of how I feel right now. Just the first two, first two, good to go. Last two, so. Last one, meh. It's on there to make 5. So that's what I'm ready for the kids. I'm ready. That's going to happen in less than 2 months now. So it's coming down. So it's been wild getting this house. It's been crazy to think in 1 year. Like if I was to look back, January 1st, 2021, and say, where will you be? I would have zero clue that I would be here in a new house, new position with kids coming on the way. Like I said, we didn't even know about this till like late June, early July. And so this has been just in 2021 as a whole. Let me do a flashback here since I've been talking about the 2022, what I expect. But 2021 as a whole, amazing. So many changes in so little time. Saying goodbye to your old house kind of sucks. I'm the only one that really loved that house. I don't think anyone else loved that house but me. And it's tough because walking around, especially when I emptied it out, when I brought the last box, it was like 5:30 in the morning. So I was super tired and maybe more emotional than ever. But I got a little choked up, man, when I was looking around, just seeing if there's anything else I missed. It's an empty house now, and everywhere I go, just thought of the good times we had, the good parties we had, the stuff with the kids, the small memories with the kids, little memories of them bathing in the sink when they were little kids, standing up and waving at Daddy as he mowed the grass, or in the backyard, I'd mow grass and they'd cheer me on, and eventually, like this past year, they'd look at me, wave for a little while, then go watch TV. So that was wearing off. But there was a time they would sit and just look at me and cheer when I'd go by and I'd kind of do a dance or something. And, you look at the backyard, we threw their 2-year birthday there. I had no idea, even in April, we had no idea that would be their last birthday there at that house. So, like I said, a lot of good memories there. And I don't know, you can let me know if you had good memories of your old house, if you remember that. I remember my old house in Mississippi I had great memories of. Great memories. If I was rich, I'd buy that house, just to have that house. Just because you have so many memories there. So it feels, 2021, we went from one end of the spectrum to the complete other. Like, honestly, flash forward my January 1st, 2021 self here, and I'd be like, what happened? Where'd all these toys come from? How are the girls talking to us now? Why do we have this new house? What is going on? It's bigger than ever. Where did all these board games come from? I love 2020, 2022. I'd probably say a few things like that. But yeah, so it's just been, I can't imagine as much. I mean, there will be a big change, obviously. Like this year, 2023, I'll be like, hey, my new kids are almost a year old now. Whoa, where did the year go? I promise you I'm going to say that. Because it's going to be wild. That's the other thing. During paternity leave, is that the time I spend drawing comic books? Because I'll have it off. Or is that the time I start writing my short story? Who knows? That's the time. How will I utilize that time? I mean, besides being with the twins every breaking night. And I am probably going to do an all-nighter this year too. I won't lie to myself because I did this the first time when my wife had twins. I let her sleep all through the night, and I was up with the girls all night long. I did that a few nights. Like there was one night a week I'd say, okay, you sleep, I'll be with the girls. And I'd either stay up all night or I'd be the one waking up, taking little cat naps in between while one of them, they wouldn't wake up at the same time. One would wake up, then go back to bed. Then the other one would wake up crying and feeding one after the other while my wife slept. So I'll probably do that again. So there will be all-nighters. And there will be lacks of sleep now. I will not sleep. The girls did not sleep through the night till they were 2 years old. So seriously, it was right after their second birthday. They really, I think, maybe once a week we'd hear them whine here and there and have to go get them. But sooner or later, they just slept through the night. It was great. It's been great, so they sleep through the night now. But now we're going to hit that reset button with 2 more. And that's going to be exciting. That's going to be a lot of fun. But hey, what are your goals? First off, let me know in the chat, the comments here. How was 2021 for you as a whole? Any highlights? And then, what are your New Year's resolutions or basically goals? Do you have goals for 2022? Not that you have to. I'm not saying you have to have goals, man. You have to. That's what happens on New Year's. You make your goals. No, I'm just asking, do you have goals? What are they? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. And hey, don't worry. I promise you this is the last time I'm going solo. I don't know if many people like me going solo. I always feel awkward because I always have to talk. I've really wanted to drink a water for the past 30 minutes and haven't been able to because I feel like I got to keep talking here. I don't want to hit pause. But anyway, let me know in the comments below and all that jazz. And Happy New Year for the first Saturday morning Samoflange 2022.